Hi everyone and welcome. I'm Diane and my passion is painting and creating nature-inspired watercolors in my studio, which are easy for you to do too. I share all my paintings with you on YouTube, and on our website dianeantone.com you can find free downloadable sketches for all the videos to help you make the most of your painting journey. And if you'd like a little bit more, we also have channel memberships with loads of perks for you to enjoy. So welcome on board. Click subscribe and turn on notifications, and let's learn to paint watercolor. Okay, so today I'm going to show you something that you can do with these Gansai Tambi graphite colors. There's also, I think, a De La Rowney set of something similar, or just use any colors that you have in your palette. But these look really, really dark when they're in their containers like that, but when you try them out and you swatch them, you get these lovely subtle graphite-y kind of colours, which are actually really nice for a moody sort of winter mood. So if you're in the mood for moody, then today's trees are going to suit you down to the ground. So I'm going to use these, but if you haven't got those ones, then I'm sure you could find something similar in your set. Payne's Grey, for example, is very similar to this one here. To this one here. And if you add a little bit of black to any of your colours, for example, phthalo blue, add a bit of black, water it down, and you'll get something similar to this. And this could be alizarin crimson with black, well watered down, burnt umber with a bit of black, well watered down, will give you colours like that. So don't despair if you haven't got this. This is just a time saver, really. So I'm probably going to use that, and I've done a swatch there so that I can remember which one's which, and I've also written on there which one's which because I cannot tell by looking at the top of it. I'm also going to use the toothbrush snow effect as well as the paintbrush snow effect, and this is the white from my Kuretake set here. 48 colours, comes with a white, silver, bronzy colour and gold, and this is the white. I hadn't used it up until today, but I decided to give it a try, and it's great. It's lovely and opaque, so we'll use that. And I've also prepared with a different brush. I've got a separate toothbrush for each colour. This bronzy gold colour, not too gold because we don't want it too shiny, and then this is silver, and it's got its own brush, because otherwise it's terribly wasteful if you keep on washing the brushes out and starting all over again every time you want to do a few spatters. So that's a quick tip. So I've been working on this all week, actually. Well, all week, it's what today? Tuesday. Trying out different ideas, some of which were more successful than others. And I sort of ended up here with these trees and this landscape. Yeah, I mean, I know they're not exactly what you'd call brightly coloured, but they are moody and evocative of, reminds me of Canada. When we used to live in Calgary, there was a lot of white out. Anyway, so we're going to give that a go. So less said, soonest mended, and we'll see what happens. I've got a piece of, this is arches paper. This one's called Lapis Fidelis. It's textured on one side and smooth on the other side, which is brilliant if you're going to use it for a greetings card, because you can do the painting on the outside, fold it over, and on the inside you've got a smooth surface to write on. Or alternatively, if you prefer painting on a hot surface, this is not exactly hot, but it's not got much texture. So this paper is really nice because it does have two personalities. The paper I used for this one was something else. It's thinner, and it's not Lapis Fidelis. It's got the same texture on both sides. I'm pretty sure this is a Fabriano paper, and I need to have a look in my drawer and see if I can find some more of it, because it did some very nice bleeds and things, but I'm going to see whether I can make it work on this one too. So why don't I fold this in half? I'm making this up as I go along. I hadn't decided what to do. I often find that if I plan things out in advance too much, you know, I might end up painting a rainbow or something in a minute, because having decided to do this landscape, you never know, I might go completely off the wall, off the track, so to speak. Anyway, let's see what happens. So I folded that in half, So I'm painting on this area here. Probably wouldn't be a bad idea to tape it down. I always forget to do this, but I think I will. So bear with me while I quickly do that. Just to stop it from curling, because it will curl. I'm not going to go right up to the edge. This is going to be a vignette style. It's called a vignette when you paint inside a piece of paper like that without going to the edges. I think that's what they call it. Okay, so I'm going to use a biggish brush. This is a size 14 round brush, and we're going to try by picking up some blue, that colour, which is not red, not green, not greeny thingy, what's it, but this one. And I've got my little flower-shaped palette there, so I can keep each colour separate if I use more than one colour. But the first thing to do is to paint a rectangle the size of what you want to paint inside of, so to speak. You have to look at it from the side to find out where you've wetted it, and hopefully there's not too many gaps there. Right, so we'll pick up some grey, reasonably strong, and I'm going to just, if I can see what I'm doing, just going to run across the top there like that and let it roll down. Lots of texture there. And then I'm going to rinse out the brush, encourage that to flow down a bit more, and I might have to just tip my paper. And we bring the snow down the bottom of the picture like that. Okay, now I need a piece of tissue paper because that's going to run. Right, and then what I did last time, I went back into these paints and I picked up some of the green. I think what I said last time was I put some of that green in with this grey to give me a sort of grey-green, and then I just dropped it in the background like that. Okay, and then a little bit more in the foreground, so in front. And then we're probably going to have to let it dry. So because, we're all making bulk cards, aren't we? We're going to put that to one side, let that dry, and then come back and finish it off in a minute. And so I will now go on to do something like this, if I can. So another piece of the same paper. I quite like the idea, actually, of, and I think it is a good one, of doing a little painting like this and then gluing that onto a card which is ready folded. So, like this one here. And just put that, just put that there. And this isn't a very good one because it's not really quite right, but that gives you the idea. The other one I quite liked. There's a few. You can put a little one, quite a small one in the middle like that. And then there's this one as well. These are all different ideas which may or may not float your boat, so to speak. I've just remembered something. I forgot on this one that we've just started. I didn't put any snow in the background, so I'm just going to pick up some snow. And that gives us a nice sort of fuzzy snow effect. And then once that's dry a little bit, we'll come back and we'll do some more sort of not so fuzzy. So that's okay, I think. And let that dry, like I said. And now this one, am I going to do it that way round? I could do the same thing. Fold that in half. And find some water. There we are. Now if I tape this down, I need another board. Just a sec. Okay, so then we want the light grey, I think, for this one again. Can't really see what I'm doing. So we just pop this in, and I think it's a good idea when you're doing one like this to leave quite a lot of light in the middle. There seems to be a spider. Goodbye, spider. Yeah, leave quite a bit of light in the middle so that it can sort of blend down. And what you also can do is you can pick up a little bit of gold very subtle. Drop that in so that we have a bit of a glow. And then we'll just bring that down to the bottom of our rectangle like that. And then we're going to go for the greens and just dropping in a tree and letting it run as much as it wants to run. Like that. And maybe use some of the blue-green as well. Give it a bit of variety. And then in the background, we want some more, so we'll just paint them in a bit even less detail. Just wherever you feel you want to put them, like that. You get more shape when you don't wet the paper, so it kind of, we'll put a bit more shape in there when it's dry. And then we want to put some snow in the front, just broken up a little bit like that. And then maybe a bit more, just a bit more on one side, perhaps, of that. Maybe just down the middle, because it will dry lighter. Okay, so then we'll let that dry. This one's going to be completely different from the last one. It's almost impossible to ever repeat what you did before. So bear with me. So we'll let that dry, and I'll come back in a second when the first one is also dry. Okay, so this is dry now, so I'm just going to pick up some nice dark green, and I'm going to draw paint some sort of basically triangular trees in here. I'm using a much smaller brush now. This is, I think, a size 3. So we make some of them a bit taller, some of them a bit darker, but it's not really crucial because we're going to put snow on top of them anyway. So we just come along here doing these kind of triangular trees. Don't worry too much about the details. And these ones over here are a bit smaller in the background, a bit further back. So it's basically a forest. In the distance, like all good forests, keep their distance. And then we'll just run along the bottom edge there a little bit, try to make that run a bit. And then I'm going to pop the hairdryer on that. And then we'll come back with a bit more dark green on here. And we can do some snow in a minute. Okay, so now for the snow. So white, nice and sploshy. Let's see what we can get here. In the distance, more snow. And then what we want to do next is get a paintbrush, which will give us some spatter. So bigger ones, okay, bigger splashes. And then some gold. And just to be on the safe side, I think I'll probably use the Gansai Tanbi gold here, because I know what that's like, she said, hopefully. And then we're going to spatter a little bit of gold on top of that. Doesn't matter if it goes over the rest of the paper, so well and good. Fingers covered with paint. And now we need to let that dry. Okay, so here's the other one that we just started. And again, I'm going to pick up some darkish green. And I've got a size 7 brush here, so I'm just going to come in and put some details. Now this is dry. Do some branches, pointing upwards near the top, of course. And as you go down, they just gradually start to even out first of all, and then they begin to point downwards a little bit. It's interesting painting fir trees because you've got the whole gamut from the highly stylized, which we do sometimes, and all the way through to something a little bit more realistic. I personally can't paint them super realistic. It's just not that's not what I do, and you know, so I tend to keep them all sort of soft, even when they're more realistic. They're not easy, Christmas trees, I don't think, fir trees. Maybe it's because I don't know, I didn't grow up in a part of the world where they're all around you all the time, but anyway. So that's that, and I think that's too green myself, but we'll put some snow on it. Some snow, as in snowing from above, make it really, the whole point of this was that these would be very snowy trees. And then we might put some bigger blobs. Where's my light gone? Here it is. Especially on the big tree, and we hope that they will fortuitously fall in the right places. And then we'll make the white in the foreground a bit whiter. So there we are. Now we have to let that one dry too, and I think that will be done. And now I'm going to do a final one actually directly onto this card, and we'll see how we manage with that. I'm going to try same sort of idea. I'll make a rectangle like that, and then I'm going to put the grey and a bit of blue. No, that's green. Let's go to my other set of Kuretake colours and add a little bit of blue. I'm doing this to just try out, see what this paper is like to paint directly onto the tree. And it seems okay. Except for that, whatever that is. That's a start. So I've let this one dry, and I'm just going to tape off around the edges because I'm going to do some spatter on it in a minute, and I don't want it to go absolutely everywhere. So it just so happens this piece of washi tape is about the right width to just tape off the edges there. So I'll just quickly do that. And I know we've gone a bit Christmas tree mad this year, but it seems to be trending. So who's to say? This is a tree I did when I was practicing for a painting I did the other day, and I quite like that effect. It's much more graphic, more dramatic, but I think for the minute I'm going to stick with the mood of the moment. And here we have got, I'm going to pick up some more of that wonderful green, but I'm going to mix it with a bit of phthalo blue. So need a little mixing dish here, and then I'm going to have a go at just whacking in some darker green and blue into this. This is a nice fat Christmas tree, this one. I always think it's funny how when you are painting, depending on the mood you're in and how many things have gone right or wrong that particular day, you'll find the picture that you produce is different. You can never reproduce what you did before unless you're Chinese, in which case you've been trained to do that, and that's great. But we put up our Christmas tree yesterday. I don't normally go for it so early, but Denise suggested that said that she was going to put hers up on the day after Thanksgiving, and I thought, well, why not? Because I do like all those little pretty lights in the corner of the room there, and the dogs don't knock it down anymore, thank goodness. And the cats don't climb our tree because it's an artificial one and there's nothing up there for them. So yeah, there we are. So that's underneath, and I need to get some white. So this is good old Dr. P.H. Martin. And then we're just going to begin to drop that in. And once I've put in a few, because this is going to be the mid-tone because it's blending. Once I've put in a few like that, then I'm going to get hold of the hairdryer and just dry that. And then we'll come back with some more white. So that's your lightest tone. Okay, and then we want some snow. So let's just dilute this down and liberally make it fairly runny, and then you'll be able to put a nice lot of snow on there. And winter has a ribbon. Make it look like the tree is getting buried. And I'm building up towards a star. Just trying to think whether to put it this side or this side. Let me think. There's a bit of a splosh going on there, so maybe we'll put it there. And I suppose it wants to be a sort of silvery colour. I'm using, now I'm using this, which is the Fine Tech colours. Let us I think that's probably going to need to dry. Sometimes a bit awkward to get the pointy bits right. Can't really rush that, but I think that'll do. And when it's dry, I might go around it, outline it with the gel pen with this. It depends what it looks like when it's dry. So I think that's probably getting to be close to where we wanted to be. A few more bits of snow, because it really is snowing. Don't know how that star is managing to come through all of that misty haze. But anyway, so let's take this off. Protective coating. There we are, so that's that one. And if you enjoyed that, I hope you did. Give us a like and subscribe, turn on notifications, and don't forget you can join our the membership on YouTube, or you can join Patreon if you'd like to support us. And go to the website dianeantone.com, where you will be able to download sketches of many, many, many paintings. I'm not sure whether I'll put sketches up of these trees, because after all they're all basic triangles, but there are other things there that are more difficult to draw. And I'll see you again soon, so I'll let you go. It's lunchtime, and have a lovely afternoon, everybody. Bye for now. Bye bye.